I got this book, Fascinating Womanhood by Helen Andelin, in order to write an essay that was published in the Hatchet. And it was about the influence of Victorian literature in Fascinating Womanhood. Okay. Now, this book makes a lot of people, not necessarily those who call themselves feminists, want to vomit. A lot of people really, really dislike it. Okay. But my purpose in the essay was not to attack it. It was not to support it. It was just to give a kind of objective view of how Victorian literature influenced it. Okay, now, again, I'm going to actually talk about it a little bit, and I'm not going to, again, support it. I'm not going to attack it. I'm just going to talk about what it has. Okay, now, it says that the ideal woman from the man's point of view, and she makes the point that an ideal woman from a woman's point of view is different from that of a man's point of view. She says, women tend to appreciate poise, talent, intellectual gifts, cleverness of personality, whereas men admire girlishness, tenderness, sweetness of character, vivacity, and the ability to understand men. Okay. And the ideal woman from a man's viewpoint, according to Mrs. Andelin, she's dead now, the late Mrs. Andelin, is an equal combination of angelic qualities and human qualities. Okay, the angelic qualities. Understands men, has inner happiness, has a worthy character, is a domestic goddess. And she comments, the angelic qualities awaken a feeling near worship. They bring a man peace and happiness. The human qualities. Is feminine, radiates happiness, has radiant health, is childlike. The human qualities fascinate, amuse, enchant, and arouse a tender desire to protect and shelter. Okay. Now, I'm going to read just the titles of the chapters, and I do think some of these things I have to grant have some validity to it. Okay, the angelic qualities are accept him, appreciate him, admire him, make him number one. Okay, now, and then she goes on about masculine and feminine roles. That's the part I really don't want to get into, because that's the part I don't particularly like. However, I think that in a marriage, it would be good for a woman to appreciate her husband and admire him. And perhaps this would apply to other relationships as well, not just heterosexual monogamous marriage. But I think men do like appreciation, so do women. And admiration is very much liked. And so, also accept him. If you decide to marry a man or a woman, you got to realize, you can't make them over. Okay, appreciation, appreciation goes a long way to making a person feel good, and so does admiration. Okay. Now, the human qualities, feminine appearance, feminine manner, and then she goes on to things that, again, I don't really want to get into because they aren't my cup of tea. But feminine appearance and feminine manner, they're very attractive. At least to a lot of men, they are very attractive. To some women, they're also attractive. There is a lot, that's one of the oddities, is that unlike a lot of feminists, RuPaul understands that there is power in a feminine appearance. A lot of drag queens know that. A feminine appearance and a feminine manner, they can be enchanting. They can be, get somebody's attention and hold it. And they can be amusing too. Now, she also, one thing that she's been very much criticized for is advising women to be childlike. Some people really dislike that. Okay, but she's also had psychologists tell her that childlikeness is one of the most important things she teaches, because often it will actually derail an argument that could get kind of nasty. You know, that a lot of times these women would use these techniques on their husbands, and the guy would end up laughing instead of, getting really, really upset. Childlike anger, for example, means, you pout, you stomp your foot, you say something like, you big old meanie. Now, again, I can see circumstances where this would be very inappropriate, but I could also see it derailing an argument into something kind of funny. Okay, now, again, I just wanted to discuss it briefly, and it's not something I'm promoting, but it's not. And like I said, I'm not attacking it, and I do give her a certain amount of credence. For example, domestic goddess basically means being a good homemaker. And this is especially necessary if you're the stay-at-home mom or the stay-at-home wife. Your husband comes home from work, he doesn't want to see a mess. And it can be comforting to him just to see a house that is clean. And maybe to smell something cooking on the stove, something that smells good and, makes him, something that's mouth-watering. There's something to that. And that's about all I want to say on it. Hope you liked hearing it. Bye.